Hello and welcome back. In the last Ironman video I said I wanted to try out doing some player-owned farms, and I still do. However, I didn't realize you need 17 farming and 20 construction as well before Granny Potterington will even talk to you. So let's go get those two things done first. One roadblock in the way of starting off on doing some construction and getting level 17, even though that's not very high, is we do need some cash. I don't have any at the moment. I may have bought some feather packs, not realizing how expensive they were for fishing, and blown all of my GP. So my idea is to go back to Croesus, do those last 3 KC that we need for the Reaper task, and hope to get one of those cash drops, because they're around 170k every time, which would keep us covered for a while. I'm just doing some fire making first because you need to be able to light fires fast to not die to the sticky fungus. As we're in need of cash right now, one great thing you can do for early game cash that I had completely forgotten about up until this point is doing the quest point reward shop thing. So we have over 25 quest points, which means we get the first magical die, and I think you get one for every 25 quest points after that, so we can come back. But if we roll it, we should get some cash and also a reward like a clue scroll item. Oh yeah, 250k. I forgot about how insane this was. And we also got a Bob shirt, which may or may not be a fortunate component. It probably is, though, because it's a unique clue item. So I'm still very much 100% learning this boss and have a lot more to learn before I'm going to be anywhere near competent at it. But I think I have more or less determined how to at least not die in a kill that I enter with full health. And that is, of course, if something starts appearing around your feet, just run like hell. And as long as you click off of it fast enough, you don't get hit. I don't know if I had a high enough contribution score to get drops for any of these kills, but this one should at least be the Reaper done. How much Slayer XP was that? 15 Slayer levels? That's kind of insane. I did the big dumb and I left the Croesus room without dying to restore my stats. But one handy trick I've heard about, and I'm about to verify if it actually works, is you can just enter a dungeoneering floor and then leave, and apparently this should reset your stats. So let's try it out for science and see if this is something that's actually going to happen. Okay, we're in. Now let's just really quick pop out of here. Check the stats page, probably after we jump down the stairs. Oh, it looks like they're already reset. So yeah, if you ever find yourself with your stats drained, whether it's Croesus or whether you did a quest or something, probably just Telly to Daemonheim, pop in a floor and pop out, and you're good to go. And the reason I had to do that is because it's time to do some skilling. I have a lot of AFK downtime while working on homework and such, and so the best way to do that is by training up some AFK skills. And I think the best one to start with is mining and smithing, not because it's the easiest thing to train while doing homework, but because through mining and smithing you unlock better tools with which to mine with, but also to do woodcutting. And there isn't really a great way for me to get good hatchets other than smithing, so I think smithing should always stay in front of woodcutting. So with that in mind, it's off to Anachronia time, which is a continent I haven't been to before, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff involved with going to Anachronia, including like setting up your base camp and getting that whole thing started. And the reason why I'm going is there's a really good adamantite and luminite mine on Anachronia. However, we have to unlock the place first, so that's what I'm doing right now. Oh look, it's our future home. Anachronia really does have some cool features, such as Big Game Hunter, and the entire island is basically an agility course that you can run, and you can unlock, I think, the Greater Surge Codex while doing that, which is something we're going to do at some point, but that is high-level content, so it's going to take us a little while to actually get there. And that right there is my character's namesake. Okay, we got our base camp all set up. The only thing is the lodestone isn't activated yet, and if you go in here, you don't start off with enough resources to build the lodestone. But I just need 150 clay, which shouldn't take that long, so I assigned all of my workers to it, and I'm just going to go like have a snack or something. I don't want to leave Anachronia before building the lodestone, so I want to make sure that's done. Okay, here it is, the incredible adamantite mine. According to the wiki, this is the only place in all of Runescape where both luminite and adamantite exist in the same mine. Is it the best place to mine either one of them? You know, like, probably not. There's probably like a shorter run to a bank elsewhere, but honestly, I just wanted an excuse to unlock Anachronia, so that's why I'm here. Well, we may not even need to do actual construction and farming, because the day after I made the decision to try to train those two skills, the beach event for the summer just came out. So I can get both construction and farming XP from this. I'm not sure how much, whether there's going to be like, a relatively stiff cap that's not going to allow us to get to 2020 in each, but it seems like really good XP so far. So I'm just going to do the beach event and see how far we get. Okay, this should be 20 construction, and this feels like cheating, dude. This is so easy. Early game construction is such a pain in the butt. Okay, I got up to 16 farming at the beach, and then if I deposit these strange rocks, this should be 17? Oh no, we're so close. I need to pick like 3 more coconuts, and that's it. Okay, I'm gonna deposit a couple of coconuts, and that should do it. There's 17 farming, so we have the stats that we need in order to start player-owned farms now. And I think I'm going to use the rest of my heat meter, and then I got some ice creams as well to reset it just doing construction, because this is so good, dude. Why would I not take advantage of this? Well, it looks like there's enough people here to get Claudia down pretty fast. I've never actually killed her before, so I'm not sure what you get as a reward. I doubt it'll be a whole lot. Okay, it looks like just like a cosmetic stuff and a bunch of ice cream. Which, I don't know how useful that is, because you can only eat 3 of them per day, and I have a ton of them now. Oh, it's a balloon. I thought it was just a cosmetic weapon or something. That's actually pretty sweet. Finished the player on farm tutorial, was able to breed my first rabbit. It's time to start making some beans. The only thing is I need to figure out a source of food. Obviously, if you're doing regular allotment runs, you can get plenty of fruit, which I think rabbits eat anything. Pretty much anything. You can get food from farming, but since I don't have any allotments set up and growing, I'm going to have to figure out an alternative way to get some food to raise up these rabbits so I can sell them. One good way of getting fruit is by buying pineapples from Arheen and Gatherby. You can buy 40 a day. I have no idea if that's going to be enough or not. So it turns out 40 pineapples was not enough to feed my rabbits overnight. They ran out of food, and I was trying to figure out something better to feed to the rabbits that's easy to acquire. And I couldn't find much until I came across woad leaves. These count as flowery mush food, which is great because you can feed it to rabbits, sheep, cows, almost everything in both the small and medium pens. So I'm probably just going to stack up on a whole bunch of woad leaves, and they're super easy to acquire. They're stackable. I just dropped 50k on them, but they're relatively cheap. 2,000 food is going to last a while. So this is going to be my go-to food, at least for the early levels of player-owned farm. Okay, I've been doing a bit of the breeding on player-owned farms, but the XP is really slow just breeding rabbits, and I'm not getting anywhere fast. I've been doing this for over a day, checking it pretty consistently. I've only gotten, like a couple thousand farming XP. So it's slow. I have an idea to speed it up, though. And that is, of course, making honeycomb. And how you do this is you basically just add flowers to these beehives in player-owned farms. So when you load the beehives up with flowers, they make 1 flower per hour using 1 woad leaf, and you can harvest that for 83 XP, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have 7 beehives working every single hour, after 24 hours, just a day, that's 14.5k farming XP, give or take a bit. So that's really good. That's essentially like checking a magic tree every single day, and you don't even need to be a high farming level to do it. I'm just doing this at level 21. We have a big construction level about to come in here as soon as I'm done building the sandcastle, and that is level 50. That's a milestone, man. And this beach event goes through the end of July too, so we have an entire month still to go of being able to do this every single day. I don't know what construction level we'll get to in the end, but it would be really cool to go for, is 70 construction even possible? It does. The XP obviously slows down as you level up, and I'm not getting 12 construction levels in one day like I did the first time I did sandcastle building. But a month is a long time if I manage to cap on this every single day. This is about to be a big smithing level right here. I've been working on smithing because, as I think I talked about this earlier, but I kind of want to keep smithing as the highest. Mining and smithing is the highest gathering skills. That way we can upgrade our tools. And here's 50, so that means rune pickaxe, rune weapons and armor, not going to be relevant anytime soon, but eventually we'll get to 50 in our melee stats, and also the rune hatchet. Oh, and look at all these quests that required level 50 smithing to complete. That's a lot of them. Cabin fever is relevant because we're going to want a black mask to make a slayer helm at some point. And 50 smithing for legends quest is huge. I'm not super familiar with what desperate times is. That must be a new quest. So I admittedly went a few days before I remembered to unlock daily challenges because you have to go through a series of beginner challenges before you start getting the real things. But I finally got there. I have mining, smithing, and crafting to turn in.
So I am going to turn in all 3. Oh, it looks like you can do that with just 1 click. So I got 3 crafting levels, and then also there's a new progression system. So it looks like you unlock more and more chests as you complete your daily challenges. I'm not sure what's going to be in these chests, but it looks like, oh, okay, it's just, treasure hunter type rewards. That 3rd tier of reward on this track is pretty good, though. That is a death touch dart, which means that's a next kill or whatever boss that we want to kill with that. Okay, we are closing in on getting a level here. That's going to be big. It's going to unlock a new area and some new content for us. Oh, did you think that level was going to be construction? Nope. Psych. This is going to be, whenever I can actually get the XP drop, 50 rune crafting, which is big. So there are a ton of platforms in the rune span that require 50 rune crafting. So just getting to some of the smaller islands with the better nodes on them, that's a huge part of getting 50 RC. And we also now have access to the Rune Crafting Guild and the Rune Goldberg machine, so we can make Viswax. I have no idea if we have enough GP to really sustain daily Viswax, since even just buying the elemental runes is pretty expensive. I've just been buying 300 of each elemental rune per day, and that alone is like 30k a day, which isn't a ton, but when you have no money to work with, it really does add up. So when we get the GP flowing a little better, we probably need to unlock 55 magic for high level alchemy. We'll start doing the Viswax every day and collecting some of that, because that'll be really important. This is another big level, and I know it's more farming. I've been doing a lot of this. It's kind of boring. But at the same time, these are the things you have to go through when you start a new account. So 35 farming. Why it's big is we can breed sheep, which are the first animals that I can put into a medium animal pen. And also, for some reason, sheep are all good with eating flowers, which means it's going to be super easy to feed them. This is great. So it turns out, to build a medium pen, you need some teak planks. And the only teak planks I could find, or I should say teak tree I could think of, outside of areas that require quests to be done, is this one, in the very southwestern part of this area below Castle Wars. Just one lone teak tree. So we're going to get our 15 logs from this guy. Okay, we have our medium paddock built. We have our white ewe and white ram purchased, and we're going to put them in there and grow them up, and then start producing some lamb babies. Also, what is up with these names? Dude's name is Angus, but he's not a cow, he's a ram. I was hoping there was like a way to add additional customization and rename your animals, but if there is, I haven't figured it out yet. More and more of these animal buyers have been coming into the farm as I've been leveling up farming, and I saw that the troll's name is the Cow Fancier, so I'm not going to lie, when I moused over the werewolf, I was half expecting him to be a sheep enjoyer. So over time, the cash stack continues to dwindle. I'm below 100k once again, and it's just going to keep getting smaller as I buy runes and stuff. So in the long run, I do want to have a sustainable money-making skill, whether that's just Slayer and Alkene drops, whether that's getting a high fletching level, whether that's... what else can you do to make GP on an Ironman? I don't know. I'm sure there's other things. But for the time being, while getting drops of like 250k cash are really good, I want to keep questing and knock out more of these novice quests, and let's make it a goal to hit 50 quest points so we can get our next reward from the quest point shop. Okay, that does it for the chicken, formerly known as Ernest. I also did Witch's Potion, although I think this one is technically a mini quest. Yeah, you don't get any quest points for it. And it was only 325 magic XP, so maybe it was a waste of time. And I'm finishing up Swept Away because it was in the area. It's also in Draenor. It was right here as I left the manor. And also I get 10 portions of XP giving goulash. And for completing this quest you get XP, and it can be in any skill. So I have to decide what skill I want that to be. It's 10 times the skill level. So obviously the hard to train skills are Prayer and Herblore, and Agility probably being the main ones. So this would either be 3.3k Agility XP, 2700 Prayer XP, or 1200 Herblore XP. I think I'll probably go with Herblore just because at this skill level that much XP is much more impactful. Yes, it's less XP overall than Agility and Prayer, however, Agility and Prayer are easier to train. Oh, and I did underestimate the XP given somewhat, just because you also get more XP as you level up the skill. So we got from 11 to 17 Herblore. Another quick one done. This one is Vampire Slayer. This quest just used to give you attack XP. This gave me a combat XP lamp. This can go in any combat skill. I'm going to go with ranged because my range is still a little bit low, and honestly, the idea of getting 5k attack XP fills me with a resounding meh. So there we go, ranged instead. Little bit of a harder skill to train, so that's a nice bonus. This one ended abruptly, but there's Goblin Diplomacy. We're still in the little, like, cutscene cutaway part of the quest, but 5 quest points, that's the big money, and a little bit of crafting XP too. Monk's friend is done. Uh-oh. The butler did it. And that's Haziel Colt done. I did it because I was in the area and it's fast. A little bit of thieving XP and a quest point. Oh, I missed the pop-up, but that is Plague City. And there's our 50th quest point. Okay, we got another dice roll. I believe this should also result in 250k cash as well. And of course, clue item. What are we going to get? Oh, looks like a black plate skirt H3. So the money obviously helps a lot. This is going to go towards buying runes so that I can start doing daily Viswax and just other miscellaneous things that you need money for. And even though we have 50 quest points already, there's still so many of these like beginner quests that have hardly any requirements and are super easy and fast to do still left that I haven't even started yet. So I think we could get up to 100 quest points relatively easy without even breaking a sweat and get a couple more of these 250k drops. You know, the account's coming along really nicely. There are obviously a lot of ways to get your early game skills up pretty quickly with the way the RS3 is in the current day, and honestly that's really nice for starting out a new account like this. And you know, one could argue that this beach event is a little bit good for training early game construction. We're up to 60 already, and I think I've only capped, I want to say 4 times, and then done some god statues as well, and that's been enough for 60 construction. And then I'll dive in just to finish off here to have a really brief look at the bank. I've smithed some weapons and armor to get me up through 40 in my melee stats, and I also do have the smithing level to make rune as well, so whenever we need that, we can always do that. And then I have my gear banked for up until 40 ranged and magic as well. I haven't done a whole lot else other than collect some miscellaneous crafting tools. A lot of the rest of this is just like quest junk, and we are starting to build out a decent farming tab because of Play Around Farms. Some goals for the near future are I would like to continue to get my skills up and try to get back on doing Reaper assignments. Of course, that we can do Croesus. It just helps to have higher skills in order to do that. And then also start doing some Slayer to get the combat stats up, because compared to the rest of my skills and how they're going, combat is now finally a little bit lacking. I also just wanted to quickly flex and show off that I did breed a shiny sheep on my very first breeding attempt with starting off from sheep, switching over from rabbits. So that was kind of cool. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.